So behind me is our big blue 6.0 Powerstroke. As you can tell, we use that truck a lot. It's been one of our development trucks for many, many years, and one of the things we've noticed over those years is the need for a high-flow baffled catch can that's easily serviceable. So we designed this thing with these huge fittings. They're almost 1 inch in diameter. So we mounted the thing low on the frame rail with a sturdy 3mm bracket. So once you're changing your oil or servicing your truck, it's right here. It's really easy access to drain whatever's in this can, depending on how much you use the truck. And we got gravity kind of helping us out. So it's at a low point. So any blow-by that comes through, it's definitely going to go downhill. So any residual blow-by that's in the lines will eventually get to the can, even when the truck's not operating.
We tested our high-flow diesel catch can under a lot of different circumstances. Those grueling situations put it on the truck out in a real-world environment, taking it off-road, and also towing massive loads up a lot of big hills. One test that you don't get to see that might not seem as exciting is one on our flow bench. Now our flow bench here is going to give us really accurate numbers on the flow characteristics inside of this particular catch can. This enabled us to test multiple different filters, multiple different inlet-outlet designs, as well as internal geometry to optimize the flow of our catch can. To make sure that this thing wasn't going to block your PCV or CCV system on your vehicle, we took the filter, filled it with gasoline, diesel, and a blow-by mix, and froze it. Put it back in here again and did a flow bench test on it, just to prove that even with a filter that could potentially become clogged or frozen due to cold environments and blow-by, we weren't going to have any restriction in the flow of the catch can. This particular can has a lot of really neat features with it. Everything on it's all aluminum. Our fittings here are nearly 1 inch ID diameter. What that's going to allow is for great flow going into the can, as well as the fact that they're CNC'd aluminum, not plastic. The entire can is made up out of CNC'd aluminum parts. From the filter housing to the fittings, everything is going to withstand anything that you can throw at it. So we want to talk a little bit about the internals of the catch can. In order to do that, we get to take this thing apart. Now one thing that's really handy is the same Allen that you use to mount the catch can to a bracket. It's the same one that you use to take out the filler element on the inside. Let's go ahead and take this thing apart. So just like all of our other catch cans, you're going to unscrew the bottom of it. And inside, you're going to notice a pretty significantly different design. Your filter element is on the inside here, as opposed to the brass filter that we have on a lot of our other catch cans. This is to give you an increased amount of flow while still providing protection that a filter would offer for this particular system on your vehicle. In order to take or gain access to the filter, simply going to use an Allen key and remove the 2 bolts and the lock washer that hold that on. Notice how one is longer than the other. Once you do that, you can remove the whole entire filter assembly, flip off the bottom screen, and then pull out the filter element itself. Clean this off and put it back in. A lot of design went into this particular filter element. We wanted to ensure that we're going to give the protection that a filter would offer for the catch can, as well as allow for air to go through it at a very fast rate and not create a blockage. To assemble, you simply reverse the steps that you did before. Another nice aspect about this are the fully aluminum CNC'd fittings with an O-ring on the back side of them. The internal diameter is large to improve flow on the catch can, and the O-ring is there to create a good seal that won't leak further down the line. Stronger than Teflon tape, more durable and long lasting.
I'm John, the owner of Muldoon's Diesel Performance. So the Muldoon's mascot, initially when we put it together, the engine has a pretty fat ring gap, being that it runs so much boost. It makes around 100 PSI of boost in the winter time. So the combination of the high boost and the large ring gap, the wider ring gap, is the perfect recipe for high crankcase pressure. So when we ran into that issue, I approached Mishimoto, and they informed me that they had a developmental catch can system that they were willing to let me try out. And we configured it that they run in series. There's two vents off of the valve cover. One goes to this catch can, one goes to the other. And after that, the catch cans vent to atmosphere. They also integrated drains so that the residual oil will drain back into the engine block. And between all those puzzle pieces fitting together, it turned out to be the perfect solution for our problem. We have no issues with crankcase ventilation, oil spewing anymore. Everything worked out perfectly. It's top notch. I mean, everything fits. It's got a really nice O-ring. It's easily serviceable. You can easily adapt them to AN fittings. So for the aftermarket, and even in some OE applications, it'll be a great fit.
So while developing our intercooler for our 6.7 Powerstroke platform, we noticed that with our new intercooler in there, we were getting a lot of oil in the intercooler and the intercooler pipes, eventually making its way into the engine. So this is definitely an application where we're putting a prototype high flow diesel catch can on that's going to catch all that oil before it ruins your intercooler. So if your application requires a high flow catch can with really big inlets and outlets, we got you covered. Click the link in the description on how to get yours.